Hello, everyone. It's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to the Streaming Wasteland here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. And this is my weekly show where each Friday I pick one streaming service and give you three previously released films for you to go check out. And hopefully, by the end of this episode, you have a nice full weekend worth of movies to go check out. And for this week, we're going to be going over to Mubi, the most hipstery and cinephile of streaming services, along with the Criterion channel. But this service is a little bit different and does really focus on a lot more modern films. So I am playing around with my timeline. Usually I've been recommending films that are at least 10 years old, but I've shifted that to if it came out before COVID, as in before the 2020s, we're fair game. And we're still sticking with the fact that this is spooky season. It is October, and I'm going to be giving you some horror thriller type recommendations here. So let's get started with 2017's Revenge. And this film, I think, gets particular attention because this is from Carolee Farge, who just came out with The Substance. And this film focuses on Matilda Lutz's character, Jen, as never take your mistress on an annual guy's getaway, especially one devoted to hunting, a violent lesson for three wealthy married men. Lutz's character is left for dead in the most brutal of ways, and then this turns into a colorful, vibrant, extremely violent, and grotesque revenge story. And if you thought that, like, obviously the substance is so colorful and vibrant, just imagine like that kind of feel out in the desert, and that's Revenge. This is a gorgeous, visceral looking experience that just pops on screen, except, oh, the body horror, the blood, the guts. He's left for dead in a very brutal way, and what happens to these men when she gets her hands on them is also very bloody and brutal. And this is one of those types of films that is going to push your boundaries and how you can handle that very grotesque splatter body horror. And this very much is a revenge thriller. And I think Lutz gives a fantastic performance that is visceral, tense, empathetic, and intimidating. You don't want to mess with this woman. And just from the poster, there's the look of her and this balance of emotion and tears in her eyes, but a big gun in hand. This is a wild ride from start to finish and scratches that revenge flick itch and offers something very colorful and vibrant and dynamic from a filmmaking's perspective. Farge really put it out there that, she was here to stay with this film, and then the substance obviously reinforced that. But if you love the substance and you want to check out Farge's other work, obviously check out Revenge. It is one that certainly has quite the impact. Next up, we're going to go to the most recent film, 2019's Swallow. And this psychological body horror comes to you from writer-director Harlow Marabella Davis, starring Haley Bennett as Hunter. A newly pregnant housewife finds herself increasingly compelled to consume dangerous objects as her husband and his family tighten their control over her life. She must confront the dark secret behind her obsession. And this indeed deals with pica, so the urge to eat non-edible items. And yep, that's where the title from this movie comes. And yes, this is an uncomfortable film in terms of that kind of idea, whether it's thumbtacks or anything else. And yes, this is a rough one to sit through. Should have just trigger warning. This is a pretty demented, twisted episode of the streaming wasteland. But Swallow is such an uncomfortable experience, and Marabella Davis does an amazing job of just heightening the tension, building that up, putting you into this space that is so uncomfortable. And Haley Bennett gives such a great performance, part of that long legacy of great female-led performances in horror films and horror thrillers. And Bennett is empathetic, but there's an intensity and a mystery about her performance, and this has some big emotional weight, this trauma that has led her to this experience. And you have the likes of Austin Stowell and Dennis O'Hare and Elizabeth Marvel, David Raish, who come in with these supporting turns as well, who add some layers to this experience. But this is a real thing. And my wife has some kids that she works with that experience pica, and this is an uncomfortable experience, and Marabella Davis does a great job of capturing this and leveraging it for all of the discomfort you could possibly have with this for sure. And lastly, the most abstract and unique of the films on my recommendations for this week. And this is 2016's Personal Shopper from Olivier Assayas, who Assayas has made so many interesting films and series, whether it's Clouds, Sils Marie, or Irma Vep and nonfiction and all of these different types of stories. There's always something unique and interesting that Assayas goes for here. And one of his muses, Kristen Stewart, plays Maureen, a personal shopper in Paris, refuses to leave the city until she makes contact with her twin brother who previously died there. Her life becomes more complicated when a mysterious person contacts her via text messages. So this film works on these two levels of well, three levels. You have this whole personal shopper element and this the gorgeous clothes and stuff like that. Sayus builds a sense of mystery and intrigue, and you just have this atmosphere that he crafts in his films that is quite engaging and quite haunting. Because another layer of this is a ghost story, and you see certain things happening in the background or in the forefront that are unexplainable without being like, there was a ghost here. And this is not like some big budgeted kind of special effects driven ghost story. This is it's a very subtle and very simplistic representation of hauntings, but it's crafted in such a way that is so intriguing and scratches that itch and that mystery and that intrigue. And this film also works on this layer of this mystery. Who's texting her and that building tension? There's a lot of tension here. Ghosts and stalkers and mysterious people and all of these things. And Kristen Stewart, this is one of those films that really started to show that she was way more than Bella from Twilight, and she deserved a lot more respect as an actor. And working with Assayas through a few projects, I think really reinforced her acting chops, and she does a great job here. This is not an easy film to process. This is not an easy film to recommend, despite the fact that I'm recommending it here. It is very artful and strange and abstract kind of experience that will make you think and make you try to process what exactly is going on. And I think that's what's so intriguing and interesting about this recommendation, filling out this very strange and unique trio of films. And honestly, that's Mubi in a nutshell. So if you're into Mubi and you have Mubi streaming service, you'd probably be interested in these films. But that's a wrap here on another episode of the Streaming Wasteland. But in summation, you're going to head over to Mubi and you're going to check out 2017's Revenge, 2019's Swallow, and 2016's Personal Shopper. A little bit newer, a little bit stranger, just in time for this spooky season. But make sure to like, comment, and share on this episode. What's your favorite revenge film? What's your favorite, like, kind of like experience watching a horror movie where it's like dealing with some kind of mental illness or disorder? And what's your favorite, unique kind of ghost story? Make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. If you are interested in becoming part of the crew here at the SPDM crew, head to our website. And if you want to become a guest on one of our shows or start your own podcast, otherwise, check out our wonderful group of shows and hosts. We have such a wide range of different interests for you to scratch, especially if you love movies. We certainly have a lot of those. And if you like our logo, check out High Flyer Creative for all your digital marketing needs. But most importantly, thank you as always for tuning in and supporting the streaming wasteland here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network.